Now ladies, I'm going to show you how to rejuvenate this basket. 20 years on, it's pretty dull and boring, much use, and I'm going to bring it up to its original counterpart, recently rehabilitated. I will start off the bottom varnish, which is near dead, with the household varnish, diluted to begin with turpentine. This amount of terps into this amount of varnish. You want it relatively thin. Here's your tool set up. You really do want to put out all these brushes, ladies, because it is household varnish and you're using turpentine and it really dries very fast. So I have diluted it 1:1, but to make it easier for painting, tip it into this and then start. And another one of my tricks, you never paint on newspaper. Newspaper is there because it really is a dirty business. That's to protect your property, your tablecloths and so on. But you really don't want to paint anything. You don't even want to varnish on newspaper. So a huge big envelope, plastic. Don't forget, ladies, make sure you have really rinsed out very well the soap from your brushes. Let's go. Makes it so much easier. Okay, first coat done, and bearing in mind I'm only doing to this line here and on the inside. Make sure that it's thin, the first coat, and you get into all of the corners very quickly with a brush of this kind. Again, first rehabilitation varnish completed, both sides. Now I used a smaller brush to go in between the flowers, and when I happened to have the varnish going into the flowers, naturally I wiped it off. And the reason for that is because we're mixing oil-based paints, household varnish and turpentine with acrylics and professional artist paints to bring this up. Now, a trick, I did both sides all at once, same two brushes, but I didn't do around the outside. And that's so I can hold it, and I didn't have to do anything about preparing the ribbons because I didn't do around the top. Best to do something very, very well than try and do everything at once. Now ladies, as I've got all the tools I need, in particular the proper consistency of the varnish, I'm going to go back and do all the insides of these terracotta pots. And so here's another trick. I covered it with plastic because now I have to be a lot more precise, because I can't go mixing turpentine varnish with my artist's acrylic paints. So I've got to be a lot more concise, but I've got everything I need right now to continue through these ones. They've been waiting for months. Now these have done the first coat. This one is at the second coat, including on the bottom, so it goes on the side. Make sure you put something there to stop it rolling, which it will. And now I'm up to the second coat of these ones. But first I found this one, which hasn't been done, and I'm still using all the same things. There we are, ladies. 11 done. Some with the second coat, some on the bottom with the second coat as well. And the way I have put them, I know exactly where they are. And you can see I've only ever used one set of brushes, those two, for the entire 11. So now it's time for cleaning up. Looking after my brushes with the turpentine and letting these sit. Now I will never ever ever not finish off something of this nature. So let's say I was living in a dusty place, I would put this over with all my work to let the varnish dry, because varnish must dry well before the second coat. And this is what I would do, to leave it sit, because I'm never going to make a setup with all the newspaper and all the other jazz and not finish off those 11. Never. And this is how I would leave it for as long as it takes. A very large dust rag covering my work area, as well as all my varnishing, until I've got the time to finish off the lot.